Last days it's the time of deceit where Allah asks, you have eyes but you don't see. These are the days in which to develop that relationship with the Divinely Presence. The only salvation and safety is if we run to the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. Don't forget that. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The biggest concern is how to develop that relationship with the Divinely Presence. There are many people teaching 2 + 2, 2 + 2, 2 + 2 but they don't give the answer. And everything from Islam is an answer, every hadith leads to an answer. And if in these days the person teaching is not giving the answer that is necessary for our survival in days of difficulty. That when Allah describes oppression and when you have oppressed yourself, run, jawka, run to the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. And it's the tenet of our very belief, means that of all the knowledges and all the realities you're going to build off of a solid foundation and it can't be built off of a cliff. So it means when someone doesn't know this key, then everything they built their knowledge on is on a cliff. It has no foundation like quicksand. So the importance of all knowledge, all reality, every type of difficulty is what does Allah want when He tells us to seek refuge. So awliya come into our life and teach that this key and this reality of opening everything is to understand that we have to run to the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. That is the key and the solution. That our life is to run to that presence, and by running into that presence we are unlocking the key, the most important key of A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Then every knowledge, its foundation will be correct, right? If you pour your knowledge on anything other than that, it's not correct. It has a chance of flipping. There are many scholars who started off talking interesting hadith, but the foundation was never about Muhammadun Rasulullah. So later on you can see then how that knowledge began to deviate and just became like just telling your own stories. And the reality of A'udhu wasn't understood, that the tariqah is to come and say, make no man more important than the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. There is no zikr, no khatim, no nothing you can do more powerful than salawat al-Nabi. There's no one that you can love if your love is not complete and kamil for Sayyidina Muhammad. And there is no love that can save you if your love is not for Sayyidina Muhammad. Because that which you love that's imperfect is imperfect, so that's an imperfect love. That which has even a drop of ignorance or imperfection is not common and not perfected. And so for every Prophet of Allah He gave them an imperfection. That's why Sharia describes Shafaat al-Kubra. They debate about intercession on a scale on this earth, and they all agree with the grand intercession of the Day of Judgement, when every Prophet will gather their nations and they come to Sayyidina Adam, his nation, and say, intercede for us. I can't, I sinned, I ate from an apple and we fell. How I can represent Allah? I have a deficiency in my account. Go to the one whom is more pure. They go to Sayyidina Nus, I can't, I actually prayed for azab on my nation and Allah flooded and killed them all. Isn't that the one He's going to intercede for creation? Nabi Musa said, I can't, I hit someone with my hand and he died. And Sayyidina Isa said, oh boy, yeah, I can't, they took me as God. And you don't know it now, wait in a few months when you start hearing about His presence on earth and He start calling Himself God. He's coming, the anti-one, to call Himself a Rabb and Lord on this earth. And Sayyidina Isa is going to say, I can't, this people they took me as an ilah because I showed too many miracles which was against the adab of Sayyidina Muhammad. So khuluqul azim is then the key for all realities. And that's why Allah then teaching, قُلْ إِنِ كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي. You think Allah is speaking to this little dot on this planet and the billion of us sitting here? Or this Qur'an is for all of creation? What sound and what manifestation it has on every planet and every crack and crevice of this entire universe is under the command of Holy Qur'an. Allah's ancient command is a command to all the angels, to all the Prophets, to all the jinn, all the creation. We know and what we don't know, قُلْ إِنِ كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ. An ancient order, like, don't come to me, I have no interest in you unless you are fattabi'uni, unless you are following the way of Sayyidina Muhammad. He is Sayyidina Sirat al-Mustaqim. This is our key. This should be the key for whatever you listen to. You listen, say, oh, this is a good speaker. Yes, because Prophet described their tongue in the last days will please you, because their qiraat is perfect, their Arabic is perfect. But don't take because their Arabic is good and you think it's entertaining for you. The words have to match the belief. We're seeing now the whole Arab world what they're doing with Allah gave them of their zaban and their language. They say, we're the chosen ones and we know this language. You know the language, you don't know the deen, what are you doing? You have more Christmas ornaments in your stores than the celebration of Milad al-Nabi. You think this is the place of glitter and glamour and you see it to be, oh so beautiful, let's all go there. But you don't see behind the scenes that Allah doesn't even let them to put their waste into the ground, they have to take it by trucks to take it out. What happens if in difficulty, 4 days of difficulty, who's going to drive those trucks out? They'd be swimming in that. It's all a facade. all the bad characteristics. These are the days in which to don't be impressed by the qiraat of somebody, but go to the depth of the reality of what they're talking, and it should be based on the love of Sayyidina Muhammad. Last days it's the time of deceit where Allah asks, you have eyes but you don't see. So it means these are the days to be careful with our belief. The key for belief and understanding and knowledges and reality is in the awz. If the formula is not telling us to run to the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. Your safety is in the sunnah of Sayyidina Muhammad, in the love and in the khuluq, in the character. There's some who adhere to the sunnah but they're very angry and mean. So it's an ingredients how to bake a perfect love. One must have the pot called Muhammadun Rasulullah. Its main ingredients must be immense love, immense good character, every type of goodness and tolerance and patience.